Have you ever noticed the way that human beings talk about things that have happened, especially things that bring pain or fear, anger or frustration? We go over the details again and again and again. We analyze all the factors and speculate about the course of events, trying to figure out what went wrong, what triggered the event, or who is to blame. I suspect that's what was going on between those two disciples of Jesus who were walking toward Emmaus that Sunday so long ago. So much had happened. So many moments of excitement and hope followed so quickly by unfathomable despair. Then, in the midst of their anxious, fear-filled questioning, their confusion and their pain, a stranger joined them on their journey and asked, "What's this you're discussing so intently?" The stranger listened as they once again recounted all of the events, complete with their own interpretations and speculations. But then the stranger began sharing with them some different interpretations, some different ways of understanding their own sacred text, some different ways of looking at the world than they had been experiencing. And as they listened to this stranger, fresh insight began to reach their fear-darkened hearts, and new hope began to stir in their pain-deadened souls. So much so that when they reached what they assumed to be their destination, the place that they had thought was the end of their journey, they asked this one who had now become a companion on their journey to stay with them. An act of generous hospitality woven into the fabric of their religious heritage, but growing out of their hearts. And then the one who had journeyed with them joined them at the table, and as he did so, he took the bread and he broke it. The guest became the host, and in that moment their eyes were opened. They recognized at once the one who they had seen crucified, but now alive and suddenly there in their midst. And as they recognized Jesus, the risen Christ, they were thrust into a future they never dreamed of and could scarcely have imagined. But no matter how glorious the encounter is, no matter how wonderful a moment is, the resurrected one is always and forever calling us forward into the future, there to embrace a new day, there to embrace new life that at that moment only God can see. So just as suddenly as this stranger had come, just as rapidly as they had recognized that it was the risen Christ, just as miraculously, he was gone from their midst, not to leave them alone, but to lead them into the future. Like those disciples on the road to Emmaus, this community of faith is on a journey, trying to make sense of all the things that have happened and are happening in our midst. Among other things, we are in the process of many conversations about just what the visioning goals we affirmed on February 24th will mean for our life together. As we try to grasp what they mean and how God may be calling us through them, some of us are anxious and fearful about what the future may hold. Some of us are excited and eager to step into a new day and new ways of being community of God's faith-filled people together. Some of us want to hang on to what we have. Some of us are ready to leap forward in faith. Some of us are grieving. Some of us are exhausted. Some of us are filled with hope, and some of us are so burdened by the individual load we carry that we have little time or patience or energy to do anything but come to church on Sunday morning hoping to receive some bread that will sustain us for the week ahead. That's who we are, a mixture of people with a mixture of feelings. But for all of us, the good news in Luke's story is that we do not journey alone. There is one who walks with us, always and forever, inviting us and empowering us to step into the new life that only God can see. So today, I decided, along with the governing board, to stop and, in the context of a worship experience, as we gather at another table with the risen Christ, to celebrate the work that we have been doing over the last year in trying to discern God's vision for this community, to celebrate the goals that we have affirmed, and to name them in worship and to offer them in prayer. Because without God, they're a bunch of words on a piece of paper.